The ghastly incident of gas leak at LG Polymers located in Visakhapatnam has been debated extensively in the national media. I've seen several experts talking about various aspects of industrial disaster in the debates sponsored on the English television channels. But surprisingly, these debates lacked one particular aspect. They were not referring concretely to the situation at Vishakhapatnam, what really happened there. So it's not just enough to talk about industrial disasters in general or drawing parallels with the Bhopal gas tragedy. Before getting into the concrete aspects of the incident, which is now being described by the management of the company as an accident, let me focus on the differences between the Bhopal gas tragedy and the Vishakhapatnam gas leak, because a lot of experts have been referring to the Bhopal gas tragedy, and there's every possibility that people may think that Vishakhapatnam gas leak is similar to the Bhopal gas tragedy. Certainly, it is similar in terms of the fact that it is also an industrial disaster. It is also a result of criminal negligence of the company management. In the case of Bhopal gas tragedy, it was Union Carbide. In the case of Vishakhapatnam gas leak, it is a South Korean based LG Chem. So, but in terms of the character of the gas that has leaked and in terms of the impact it makes, there's a lot of difference. In the case of Union Carbide gas leak, it was much more poisonous methyl isocyanate. It is described or it's categorized as poisonous or near poisonous. On the contrary, the gas that was leaked at Vishakhapatnam LG Polymers is styrene gas, which is categorized as a toxic gas. This differentiation is not to undermine the possible deleterious effects of this gas leak. It's certainly important to take up a rigorous scientific study with international experts to look into the possible implications on the health of the people who have been exposed terribly to this gas. Secondly, the scale and the magnitude of the gas leak also makes it different. So, in the case of methyl isocyanate, it's a much more devastating. So, we have to, but however, the caveat remains is that a thorough scientific study has to go in, because we can't take choice, we can't take chance. So, that's the first thing which I wanted to tell. Then comes the questions why it has occurred, and as you further investigate, several perplexing questions come to my mind. The firstly, did this company follow the safe shutdown protocol or safe startup protocols? So, chemical plants are called the process plants. So, when they cannot be switched on or switched off like an electric supply. So, it requires a protocol to be undertaken before shutting down a plant or before starting up a plant. So, the reports as of now indicate that the company certainly erred on safe startup protocol. Even the chief minister and even the minister for industries called it a criminal negligence. But however, the critics argue that why should this company be facing only charges like criminal negligence, which can only lead to relatively lesser punishment. In fact, the company should be booked for culpable homicide and murder. So that's the question one. So whether the startup protocols have been followed meticulously or not. Secondly, also the rules say that when you really start a plant after 40 days of shutting it down, the company was supposed to inform the government of Andhra Pradesh, the pollution control board, the inspector of boilers, etc. And as of now, the media reports indicate that the government authorities have not been informed when the company tried to restart the process. So this is certainly a grave crime if it is true, because though the company has no business to start the operations without the government concerned authorities approving it. And third aspect is the Director General of NDRF has also indicated that when you undertake a startup, it should not be confined to the company experts doing this. In fact, an outside expert should also be called in before really restarting the plant, because the company, the experts have to thoroughly examine whether whether everything is ready for restarting the process. And quite unfortunately, it seems that the LG Polymers has not bothered to invite any outside expert to undertake this kind of a safety audit. Then the fourth question and the more fundamental question is, well, when this company was actually was set up in 1961 as Hindustan Polymers, and subsequently in 1996, I think, 96-97, it has been taken over by the South Korean company LG Chem, and it became LG Polymers. So when this company was started in 1961, there were hardly 500 people in this area, in this locality. But today there are around 15,000 people residing in this area. It is rather surprising that such an industry that deals with such a hazardous chemical substances is located right in the crowded locality, and a dense locality. And there has been demand from the people, from the mass organizations, to relocate this factory away from the residential locality. Surprisingly, today, both the YSR Congress and TDP fight over this accident also. But the political, notwithstanding this political slugfest, both the governments, the present YSR CP government and the earlier TDP and Congress governments, did not heed to the demand to relocate this factory. If this factory was relocated to an area where there's not much population, the things wouldn't have been so worse. Then the fifth question is, well, this is a South Korean company, and South Korean companies are known for the use of robotics, use of very modern technology. So LG Polymers is also a company which is highly modern and uses sophisticated technology. So the bewildering question is that when this company institutes such a modernized production processes, has it not done the same in the case of safety procedures? So the safety should also be modernized. And the multinational corporations often face accusations that they do not maintain the similar rigorous safety protocols when they set up factories in the third world countries like India, when compared to the factories that exist in the parent nation, whether it is in South Korea or United States. That was a similar accusation made on the Union Carbide also. Then the sixth question is, well, there's absolute lack of transparency in how this company works. In fact, the moment LG Chem has taken over this company, the management has gone for de-unionization. So there's no trade union activity, and even the local officials and local authorities do not even have access to get into the company. In fact, lack of transparency breeds lack of accountability. In fact, when you have a transparency, well, there will be warning signals and whistleblowers will come out. So the kind of management which this company practiced has resulted in absolute choking of warning signals that would have possibly come by now. And the seventh aspect is, well, the reports indicate that the company has not even switched on the siren when the production was when there were efforts to start up the production, start up the plant, and there was no siren even when the gas was leaking. So this gas leak occurred around 1 a.m. So obviously till 3:30, 4 a.m., people were not even aware that there was a gas leak. And by the time, there were thick clouds of gas everywhere, and television visuals reveal that people were not even finding their way. They couldn't even see the street lights also. So why did the company not trigger the disaster warning signals? And unfortunately, even the district administration seems to have not been informed at the earliest. So the district authorities have only landed somewhere around 8:30 a.m. So there has been a complete lack of accountability on the part of the company. In fact, people who breathe this styrene gas complain of respiratory problems, and they were running to the private hospital. There were as many as at least 4 to 5 private hospitals in the vicinity, and including a corporate hospital. But surprisingly, due to COVID situation, they were closed down and they refused to take in the patients. In fact, if the company has alerted the district administration the moment they notice the gas leak, I hope the private hospitals would have been instructed with the district administration to accept the patients, and if the patients have received medical attention like ventilation, etc., I think we would have saved at least some of these lives also. And there are also allegations that this company was trying to expand its operations also, despite being located at a very crowded, densely populated area. And the allegations, a person no less than E.S. Sharma, who worked as the Secretary to the Government of India, in a written to the Chief Minister Y. Jagan Mohan Reddy, alleged that the State Pollution Control Board has given a go-ahead to the company to expand its operations, to expand its activities, even without the permission of the state government or even the Union Environmental Ministry. I'll tell you rather other surprising aspect. This company got a no objection certificate NOC to restart the operations right after the end of the first phase of the lockdown. And to permit this, the NOC says this company is an essential industry. It is rather preposterous or beyond anyone's cognition that a plastic industry is categorized as an essential industry. And the reports also reveal that the styrene was stored in and there is a protocol to be followed when you store a hazardous chemical. So whether this protocol to store the hazardous chemical or whether the maintenance was properly taken up for all these 40 days remains a question. So there are several unanswered questions, and there should be high level technical, scientific and administrative investigation to actually establish the culpable homicide practiced by this company called LG Chem. But the experience with industrial disasters in India, including the Bhopal gas tragedy, reveal to an unfortunate aspect that there is a nexus between a politician, between the big business, especially the multinational management, and there's hardly any attempt to really bring them to work. We have seen the experience Anderson. We only hope that the LG Polymers ghastly gas leak incident will not end up like another Bhopal gas tragedy, or we will not face another situation repeating the kind of experience we had with Anderson and the Union Carbide.